A new report says Oregon's bridges are headed for trouble and ODOT needs more money to fix them.
61 are classified as structurally deficient. To maintain the bridges, the state needs to replace 27 of them every year, but current funding allows it to only replace 3. Tim Becker is getting answers about what ODOT plans to do.
Yeah, just to be clear, the situation right now is not alarming. Around 80% of the bridges on the state's highway system are not distressed. But ODOT says that could change over the next 20 years if they're not able to ramp up the amount of money that is set aside to do preventive maintenance and upgrades.
We're trying to basically evaluate and list all maintenance concerns.
ODOT's recent statewide inspection found most of Oregon's aging bridges will need serious attention in the next 20 years. Over that time span, they expect 900 will need repair or replacement, but current funding will only allow them to address 300.
This is a warning sign for the future. This is a warning sign that in the decades ahead, we've got to look out. We've got to be aware of this. We've got some transportation issues in this state. Our bridges are 100 years old, and they're not getting any younger, and they're not getting any safer.
ODOT's Don Hamilton met me on a section of northbound Grand Avenue that spans Interstate 84. More than 100 years old, he says it's a perfect example of a busy, overworked bridge that could go horribly wrong if it's not brought into the 21st century.
If anything happens, and let's think in terms of a seismic event, there's going to be a lot of serious problems, not just here on 99E, but on the railroads and on Interstate 84.
Much of ODOT's budget now goes to shoring up bridges in poor or structurally deficient condition. But they say it is a challenge continuing to maintain bridges in good repair. They'd like to do more than just damage control, something Hamilton tells me will simply cost more money than they now have.
We have to make sure that we operate the system that we've got safely. We have to make sure, though, as well, that we're going to have the resources in the future to make sure that we can maintain the system properly in the decades ahead.
So I'm going to bust out some numbers for you here. There are close to 7,000 bridges statewide. More than 2,700 of those are on the highway system, and more than half of those were built before 1970. ODOT says 57% of that last subset I mentioned will reach the end of their design lives by the year 2020. In Southeast Portland, Tim Becker, KOIN 6 News.
Thank you, Tim.
Thousands of people are